In the first Star Wars Aftermath book, the Acolytes of the Beyond make a brief appearance, attempting to purchase what they believe to be Darth Vader's lightsaber. In the book, they are described as dark-robed figures and Sith sympathizers who have a fascination with the dark side and its teachings. I believe, like many others, that this group is an early incarnation of the Knights of Ren, the group later Ben Solo would become a part of and that Supreme Leader Snoke supposedly rules over. In the first Aftermath book, they explain that they are not violent, not yet at least, but that is subject to change. Before I go any further, there are spoilers for Aftermath Life Debt, so if you haven't read the book or you have plans to do so, maybe check out another video. In Life Debt, we get a ton of information on the Acolytes of the Beyond, and new intriguing information that points to them being the beginnings of the still mysterious Knights of Ren. In Life Debt, on the planet of Corellia, the group is in open rebellion with the police, who are attempting to clamp down on the growing cult. The group's message is described to be larger and more significant than the Empire itself, and that they do not directly worship the Empire. However, one of the members of the Acolytes is apprehended while spray painting what appears to be a phrase similar to Vader lives, which again goes along with the first book and the group's admiration of the Dark Lord. To me, it sounds as if the group doesn't necessarily admire the Empire but the dark side and the Sith, specifically having a fascination with Vader. The reason for this I see is that Vader was more the public face of the Empire, as he was the enforcer and military leader, while simultaneously having no boundaries and being involved in politics as well. This group appears to worship his escapades over his time as a Sith, very similar to how his grandson, Ben Solo, would decades later. As for the term Vader lives, this is still an unknown, but I do think it is the group looking for a leader, and maybe not the literal term. The group may be doing what they feel Vader would have done, and through the Acolytes, Vader will live on in their eyes. In the months before the release of The Force Awakens, it was speculated many in the First Order ranks believed Kylo Ren was a returned Vader, and I think this plot very well could remain. The Knights likely, during the rise of Kylo Ren, view him as their more literal leader and as a form of a returned Vader. Some members may have even taken it to an extreme and hold the belief that Kylo is in fact a resurrected Vader. Again, going back to the cause being greater than the Empire, this is another trait that coincides with what little we know about the Knights of Ren. We are aware Kylo and the Knights of Ren are a separate organization from the First Order, but that they are connected by the rule of Snoke and work together for a common goal. In the book, it is also mentioned that the Acolytes of the Beyond wear masks similar to the Knights of Ren, that in order to attain one, you must earn it first. How a member goes about doing so is still unknown, but this could be a sign pointing to the group becoming more daring and ferocious. The masks also appear to be made out of scraps and discarded material, with none of it being flashy, and constructed quite ruggedly, but that also appears to be the point of them. In the basement, in which the Acolyte was captured by the police, a group enters what appears to be a museum, and find yet another red lightsaber. One of the Acolytes even activates it, and it is made pretty clear that it is indeed a red blade. So what are the group's intentions for this weapon? Well, in the first book, they believed they had found Darth Vader's lightsaber and wished to destroy it so that it may join its master in death. I do, however, think the plans for this weapon may be quite different. In concept art for The Force Awakens, the Knights of Ren are shown with lightsabers, and yes, I want to say this now, I full-heartedly believe these Acolytes are indeed a very early version of the Knights of Ren. This would fully explain why someone like Kylo would be their master, because they all look up to him as their leader and essentially heir to the Empire. On top of this, Kylo doesn't just have the Force, he is very gifted with it, and by what we have heard so far, at least the majority of the Acolytes, and as an extension the Knights of Ren, are not Force users. This would also explain why in Rey's Force vision they appear to be holding melee weapons and blasters, as opposed to lightsabers. However, I do think we very well could see some of the members wielding lightsabers, despite them not being Force sensitives. I do not think the purpose of this weapon will be for it to be destroyed, but rather used as a tool to garner more followers. So that is what we get. To me it seems pretty convincing who this cult ends up being. Funny enough, my biggest question now is how much is Snoke involved? The case may be that the group respects Snoke, but that they don't serve him to the degree they would Kylo, as he shares the blood of Vader. In fact, the group may value, and in a very strange way, worship Kylo far more than they would Snoke. Overall, I am very happy with what we got from the Acolytes, and I am glad the book seemingly confirms they are a newer organization, and not some ancient one formed long ago. I look forward to reading the next piece about the group when we inevitably get the final installment of Aftermath with Empire's End, and hopefully a concrete answer as to if these are the Knights of Ren, although thus far everything is lining up nicely. So tell me what you think. Is this group the Knights of Ren, and how do you feel about their outlook on the dark side, and more specifically, Vader? And a really big question, what do you think the extent of the group's following of Kylo extends to? Do they worship him, or simply follow him as their leader? Again, thank you so much for watching. If you have any other lore topics or questions you want discussed, leave a comment down below or tweet me at StupendousWave on Twitter, and I will do my best to answer or make a full video dedicated to your topic. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.